Our third speaker tonight is Axel Bundgaard. His service was on a ship called the PCS 1429, which is a converted mine sweep that was involved in landing the troops of the 6th Army at Leyte. So he's going to talk a little bit about what was involved in getting the troops ashore and what his group did when it was evident that they might be under attack. Axel?
Thank you. My story is going to be brief. I really mean brief. Not going to kid you on that. But the Lady Gulf occasion involved all kinds of Navy ships. And someone told me here tonight that this was the largest naval armada that we had in World War II. We were just a small ship, 1429, about 4 officers and probably about 50 men, seamen. And we had the duty of being a relay station. Now, when you have an amphibious operation as this one was, and I don't know, somebody probably here can correct me, I don't know whether this was about the 3rd amphibious assault. There was one at Tarawa. There could have been another one before Lady. Iwo Jima.
Well, there would have been Saipan.
Saipan. Well, our duty was to take station right off of a sector on the beach. And we were to be anchored, and we had various flags for coding, and one flag meant you're to follow that flag. And out in the waters, out into the Gulf, were all these supply ships, and I would sure like to know sometime how many of them there were. They carried the troops, and they carried all the supplies, they carried ammunition, they carried everything to sustain a battle, which is no small feat. Where did we come from? I thought about this a lot. I can't remember where we sorted from, but I'm guessing this was from Hollandia. And if he says that's where they were, then it's probably true that that's where we started from too.
I'll tell you more than that. There were 480 of them.
480 ships. We all proceeded towards Lady Gulf. And if I had a map here, I could show you that. But we were going in a westerly fashion and a northerly fashion. And I don't think we did much to evade submarines or anything of that sort. But this was a big operation, and it was the first one for our ship, so I'm just aghast at all of this going on. And as I think back about it, how in the name of heaven did we stay on station? How in the name of heaven did we make changes in the course without running into each other? I'm just happy that we didn't do any of those things. We got there. Now, there's been some confusion on dates here. I don't want to be quoted, but the dates that I have in my mind have been with me all my life. We landed on the 20th of October. And let me give you an idea of the extent of this landing. There were 2 landings, one at Tacloban, and then 10 miles south of there was the beach that we were at. And what we did, we would move into the beach, towards the beach, and we were a little bit shaky about that because we didn't know whether the Japs would start throwing let at us or not. But we moved into a certain station which we had been assigned. What then happened, we had aboard our ship an officer, high-ranking officer of the Army, who would relay messages out to somebody in command of the supply ships and tell them which troops were to go and what time and so forth. Well, we took our station and nothing happened. The bombardment had already taken place. Pretty soon here come our little Higgins boats, and the guys went by us straight into the beach, landed on the beach, and then occasionally a little steel would come in, landed on the beach, and that was it. We did fine. And my first day, I can still see this, and somebody else in our group here saw the same thing. Kind of an occasion, kind of a coincidence. A Corsair fighter plane came swooping down across the landing beach, right over the beach. And you know what? Well, first of all, I would guess that most of those ships on Rikars were new and inexperienced. So you might have some happy gunners on your ship. And what do you know? They wanted to practice their They did. They knocked the guy down. And he escaped and got on in the wing of his ship. Got out of the cockpit and got on the wing of the ship, and I never saw a person so mad in my life. You could just see him. I was sitting watching. I had to on the ship duty. I could see him go through my glasses out there, and he was just going back and forth. And we wondered, what was he trying to do? We discovered, and I think it's true, that he was a photographic ship. And, he was taking pictures of the beach. And I wish I had one of those, because I probably have watching him. But anyway, this is what we did. We just said we stayed on station, I think, for 3 days. Then suddenly, we went out of there. And to this day, I don't know how we did it. But almost the complete armada were back to Hollandia. What was the reason? All of this activity that these guys were in, this was what was going on. And I've thought about this time and again. If we had not gotten out of there, and we did, and this is a big armada, and how we got all the ships out of there, I don't know. But what would have happened if the Japanese had not turned tail but kept coming? They could have come right into that gulf. We were sitting ducks, and they could have just raked them. We, to this day, and the strange thing about it, we didn't know why we were leaving. We had no idea that this fighting was going on. And we didn't know about it at all until we got back to Hollandia, which was about 7 days later, that this battle had gone on. And I'm convinced that our path to go back down to Hollandia was just south of where Taffy ships were fighting and where the others were fighting. And it was an astounding event as far as I was concerned. This has occurred, and we didn't know about it. And of course, there was radio silence, so nobody passed along any information. Wasatch certainly did. And so there we were. He was on. Okay. But I want to just add a little of my own impressions about this whole thing. It was certainly a battle of gross errors. Halsey, one way or another, still was wrong, in my mind. He had the duty of protecting the ships in the area, and he gambled and he really lost. But surprised, thank goodness, came out on top, because he didn't none of his firepower, the Japanese back and during the Indian Strait to really turn the tide. And that's when I rolled in Lady Golf. I knew about the crossing of the T. I read about all of this since I've been in the civilian again. And I think that there was a marvelous bit of strategy and thinking on the part of the Navy that line up those old battleships. Most of them had been at Pearl Harbor. I know the California had been, and it was at Lady Golf. And they were able to cross the T. Yeah, that was a turning tide right there. That's my story.